Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. So this is going to be a fairly short video. It's going to be a little handover video on this Autohomes HighwayMan. Because of the age of the vehicle, it's not something that we're sort of covering with all of our normal warranties and things like that. But what I'll do, I've gone through it, everything lit up perfectly. Water pump came on, no leaks, nothing like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you around the outside of the vehicle, show you through all the lockers and things like that. And then I'll jump inside and just basically show you how to light things up and how to get things going. So under the bonnet, you can see we're based on the Peugeot Boxer. This is a 2.5 litre turbo diesel engine. So towards the left-hand side of the bonnet here, we've got the engine battery, which is working perfectly. It starts up every time, no problems at all. We've got your power steering fluid here, brake fluid, your engine oil filling point, and the dipstick for that is this yellow topped one just down here. You've got the actual air inlet up here, so you've got all that there. Air filter sits inside this box over here on the right hand side. Well, you've got the engine coolant up here, which needs a little bit of a topping up, but it hasn't been for its service just yet. And the washer fluid in this reservoir over on the right hand side. So the diesel filling point is from this little bit just here. So if you push on the left hand side of this, we'll then be able to open this up. Diesel filling point comes off like so. You can lock that up as well if you want to, but there you go. So inside the passenger door, not much to show in here, to be completely honest. It's basically just the seat and the window on this near side. You have got, previous owner has written down all of the dimensions of the vehicle just here, which is always handy to have, just in case you're going anywhere slightly narrow or you can't go underneath. So when I was going around and just having a little look over things, I noticed that the leisure battery was completely knackered. So you've got a brand new leisure battery in there. So that's on this side just here. That's all nicely strapped down so that it won't move when you're driving. We've then got your electric hookup point, which you can see is plugged in at the moment. You can, on this particular style of locker, you can tuck the cable in just here and still completely close the locker. So that is a nice little thing they have. So having the hookup plugged in means that the mains charger has also sprung to life, so that the leisure battery is being charged up all the time when that's plugged in. So it's always really helpful if you can have that plugged in, then it does mean that you don't have to worry about that leisure battery's voltage dropping when you're using things inside the van. So we've got a really nice big awning on the side of the van, as you can see. Gas locker just here. So with the gas locker, I did have to replace the bottle and or the pipe work in here. So you've got nice new pipe work, 2023 on here. So you've got a little while on that one until you have to replace it. You've also got a new regulator on the top just here. This is a hand wheel style regulator. So when you come to changing this bottle for another one, literally all you need to do is unscrew this little hand wheel and then put it onto the other one. To turn the bottle on, we go anti-clockwise around to the left. And to turn it off, we go clockwise all the way down, round to the right. So yeah, so this is a propane bottle. Propane is always the one that I would opt for. Means that you don't have to worry about it getting too cold and not being able to use it, because this will work all the way down to about -40 degrees. So you've got, you know, I'd be pretty impressed if you get somewhere cold enough for this not to work. The habitation door splits in half so that you can have the bottom half closed up on its own, or the top if you wanted to. Don't know why you would, but there you go. So that's that. Back of the van, we've got the 2-bike rack, a little ladder that takes you up onto the roof. Not that you should really ever need to get up there, but it's there if you need it. And then we've got this vent here and the one below it, which are both to do with the fridge. Now, if you've got the fridge lit up on gas, like I do at the moment, you will feel hot air coming out through this vent, and you will also see lots of condensation forming above that. That is totally normal. I will say that because of that, and because of the sort of fumes that come out the back of this, make sure that you have this window shut when you're using the fridge. Toilet cassette locker. Got the flush fluid on the top just here. I have flushed this through and put the pink fluid back in, but this is basically where you just top up your pre-mixed pink fluid in there for the flush. The actual toilet cassette itself comes out really easily. Literally just push down on this little yellow button here and then pull the cassette towards you. You'll then be able to take it all the way out, like so. You turn this around here and take this cap off. That's where you would empty the cassette out from. And when you're actually emptying it out, you need to hold down the yellow button there at the back. Push it all the way back in, and that is it, ready to use. I'll just get down underneath a little bit, see what we got. Nothing over there. Right, so next thing we're going to get to is this one here, which is your boiler. So this is a Carver water heater. Only thing I need to point out really is that your drain off point for this is this big sort of flathead nut down here. So if you want to drain the boiler out of all of its water to sort of winterize the van, you need to undo this very slowly and it will just basically start to pour out. When I say really slowly, because it will start to splash all over you if you don't. Freshwater filling point, so the water tank sits just on the other side of this, underneath this side settee. So that's your freshwater filling point just there. So just over 50,000 miles on this one, and for the age of the vehicle, I think that's an unbelievably low mileage. Drives absolutely lovely, no problems at all on the driving front. First thing I'm going to run you through is just going to be the control panel area up here. So when we get to this, you'll notice you've got an option here on the left hand side, just next to this light here. You've got the option of engine battery or aux battery. So engine battery, obviously the battery that starts the engine. We don't want to use that because we don't want to use the power up from that, because obviously then you'll be draining out the engine battery, which you for obvious reasons don't want to do. Auxiliary battery is the one that we want to use. That's the leisure battery. So when you select that, it means that all of the lights and the power that you draw from the back end of the vehicle is now being drawn from the leisure battery. It also means that because we've got the hookup cable plugged in, it means that the auxiliary battery or the leisure battery is the one being charged up. So basically, when you come into the van, you're going to want to come over here and select aux battery every time you want to use power. When you're finished with the van and you want to sort of lock it up and get it ready to leave, back to the middle, and that will turn all of your power off. We've then got the 5 buttons to the right of that. We've got pump, saloon lights, aux 1 and aux 2. Now aux 1 and aux 2 can do various things. They can do little 12-volt sockets. They can do lots and lots of different things around the vehicle. You will sort of work out what they do when you go to use them. But the majority of the things that you need to have on are going to be these 2 saloon lights switches. And that will then give you the power to use all of the lights around the vehicle, wherever they might be. So you've got these sort of LED ones up here, all over the place. So I'll just turn all of those off. There you go. So the last one here on the left hand side, water pump. If we turn that on, we will then be able to draw the water through to any of the taps. You can see the pump should come on, which it has done. And then when I turn the tap off, the pump should then turn itself off after a few seconds. And that's it. Perfect. So seeing that the pump runs and then turns itself off again when you turn the tap off means that you've got no leaks in the system, and that you can go ahead and use the system as however you want to. Another good thing to know, or a good tip, is that you need to make sure that the boiler is full of water before you start trying to light it up. And just all you need to do that is draw the water through on the hot side of the tap and just make sure that it's coming through nice and clearly and not coughing and spluttering all over the place. So there you go. Absolutely perfect on the hot water side. Turn that off, make sure the pump turns off, and there you go. So I know now for a fact that the boiler is full of water. If the boiler was empty, I would literally get no water coming through that tap at all until it filled itself up. So, the rest of the control panel is just fuses down here. They will do various things. If you have any problems with the lights and things like that, I would check one of these fuses. We've then got your freshwater tank level. It's showing us full at the moment. It's not completely full. This is a bit of a, to be honest, these are a little bit of a guide. They can be a little bit sort of awkward to gauge sometimes, but this is your tank level indicator. And if the waste tank gets completely full up, you should have a little red light come up down here. Over to the left of that, these two over here are both to do with the water heater. So if you want to use the water heating, you press on here for using it on gas. And basically you'll get a little green light there come on telling you that it's working. And after about half an hour or so, you'll have hot water coming through to the taps. If you've got the electric hookup plugged in, you can also use it there on that switch there, which will just basically heat up the element inside and use the mains power to get the water hot. That will also take about half an hour, maybe closer to an hour really on the mains. But yeah, it just means that you've got the option there of both electric or gas. Easy as that for the water heating, super straightforward. The heater itself is a gas-only Carver heater. This is also very, very simple to use. You've basically got a little peephole down here on the right-hand side. And all you need to do to light it up is, first of all, make sure your gas is turned on and that you've got gas in the bottle. But all you need to do, twist this little valve here to the right where you've got a little spark symbol. All right. And then from there, you just basically push down on this until you see a little pilot flame down here. So if I just do that a few times. Just turn it back for a minute. It's quite normal to have to do this, to be honest. It's essentially, it's just like any old sort of gas heater or an older style boiler. You just need to get that pilot flame going. Which is funny because I've just had it on about 10 minutes ago before the video. So. Might have to check on the gas on that one, make sure it's coming through. Doesn't seem to want to light up again now. I will sort that out. Oh no, there you go, it's on now. So, if we can see in there, now that I've done that a few times, I've just got that pilot flame going. You can see the flame going in there. All I've done now is I've left it alone like that, just aiming towards this little spark symbol. And I can let go of that and it'll stay on just to warm up the chamber a little bit. And then all I'm going to do from there is literally just turn this dial around to the left so that it's up facing here. So I do that now. And then you can hear it straight away, the main flame kicking in. So it will be a little bit orange just for the first few times that you use it. The van hasn't been used with all this sort of stuff for a little while, so that's why it's a little bit orange. But the more you use that, the more blue that flame will go. So that is literally how you use the heater. You just get that pilot flame going on that side there. As I've shown you there on the video, sometimes it does take a little bit longer than other times. It's totally normal. So yeah, that's just how you would do it. Keep your eye on that flame, just make sure that stays on. When it gets to a certain temperature, it will turn itself on and off, on and off. It's purely just because it knows how hot it is, basically. It's just a flame failure device thing. So that's how you would use the heater. As I say, just keep your eye on that flame, make sure it stays on. And then when you're done with it, you just turn it all the way back round to this little circle here. The oven and grill, just Just open the oven up like so. You will need an ignition, like a long reach lighter, to light these up. So there's no ignition on this system at all on the cooker. So push in and round to the left to light up the oven there with the long reach lighter. Same goes for the grill. You need an ignition for that. And that is from the second one down from the top, just there on the top. Travel catch there for that. And the same goes for the 3 burners up here as well. So you will need a long reach lighter to light any of those up. Now the fridge is a 3-way Electrolux fridge. So to light the fridge up on the gas, I'll just show you how to do that. First things first, you'll notice I have actually got the fridge on at the moment, all right, on gas. So just down here, you'll see you've got a little tiny peephole there, which is basically just a little glass cover. And you can just about see a little blue flame inside there. So that is your peephole that you need to look at when you're trying to light this fridge up. Now I will say that I've had this on for, I don't know, probably an hour and a half, I think. And this is absolutely freezing cold inside this freezer compartment. So it's working absolutely perfectly. So to light the fridge up, I've just gone back to the right there to turn it off. So you will now see that that little light inside there has gone now. So the flame's gone out. So to light this up, literally all you have to do, you've got a little spark switch here. Okay. And all you need to do is push in and around to the left on the gas one, and then press your spark. And just keep doing that until you see the flame stay on. There you go. So now you can see that flame has stayed on. I'm just holding on to it still, just for a second. And now I've let go. So now that you've let go, and you can still see that that flame's inside there, it means that the thermocouple's got hot enough, so it's going to allow that gas to carry on, and you can let it go. That's it. That's all you have to do. You've got a minimum and maximum for the flame size, so you can probably just about see if I turn it down. Dies down a little bit, and then back up. But that's it. It's just about keeping your eye on that and just adjusting it as and when you need to. But that's how you would light it up. If I turn that off now, go all the way back around to the right, again, double check your flame's gone out inside there, which it has. You've then got on the left hand side of the fridge, you've got the electric side of it. So you've got a gauge just here to tell the fridge how cold to get, basically. You've got a switch just here, which is for when you're hooked up on the mains. So that'll get the fridge cold after a couple of hours on the electric hookup. And you've also got a little red switch just here, which is for when your engine is running. So when you're driving along and you want to keep the fridge cold on the 12 volt, switch over to this little red one here, and that'll keep the fridge cold as you're driving. So you have to get the fridge cold first, either on the gas or the electric hookup, and then switch over to 12 volt just for when you're going along. When you get to where you're going, switch back to one of the other two, either the mains or the gas, and that'll get the fridge cold and keep it cold again when you are sort of parked up. Just turn this heater off. In the bathroom, you have got a light in here as well. So you've basically just got a sink inside here with obviously the tap there. You'll notice that when I use the sink inside here, there's no drain in the actual bowl itself. So to drain this out, you just basically slowly lift it towards the back and it will drain down the middle. And essentially what happens is, it sounds horrible, it sounds like it's not doing anything, but there will be a drain inside here which goes down to the waste tank. So it's literally just pour it away, and that's it. The toilet is super easy. You literally just twist this to open up the flap into the cassette. All right, so when you're finished using the toilet, that's what you would do to drain it into the cassette. And then you've got your flush fluid, which pumps around by doing this. Doesn't get much easier than that. So you twist this now, drains it into the cassette, and then twist it back. And that's it. It does tell you how to use that on there as well. I have had to, when I was just going around just making sure things were okay, I have had to replace your shower hose here because the old one was broken. So I've replaced that. You've got a nice new shower head there as well. Other than that, I think that's about it really. I don't think there's much else to run through. Obviously these two here will pull together to make a big double bed. But there you go. So, I think I've covered everything. I don't think there's much else that I can really run through. But if you do have any other questions, just give us a shout. Thanks very much.